right, we've got 3 important things to talk about in this video. First, we're going to talk about some upcoming rumors and new characters coming to the game. Then we're going to talk about, is there enough disclosure? Is the game being predatory? And then lastly, are we going to talk about the end of hoarding? Does it look like the game is going to a place where they're finally trying to discuss to discourage hoarding? First things first, let's talk about the upcoming rumors. Link to Tana's video will be in the description. A couple rumors have come out in the last couple days. Adam Warlock, which was hinted at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy, the last movie, maybe a potential tie-in with an empowered Nebula and a Gamora rework. You're going to have to check the video in the link in the description. Just wanted to say Adam Warlock, that seems like it to be an interesting thing. He's very important in the Marvel comics. I've been watching a lot of Comics Explained videos, and yeah, Adam Warlock is a good one. I can't wait to have him in the game. Then we've had some very controversial stuff happen. The dark promotion credit, which this is not really that great of a system, by the way. A lot of people are choosing to ignore this. There is a cap of 1,500 dark promotion credits, and the problem with that is that it was not clear. I was able to see it yesterday just by happenstance. I had clicked on the little thing right here, and I saw that it had a cap, and I was like, "Ooh, there's a cap on it. Be careful, right?" And not everybody saw the cap, and probably the most horrible thing ever is that the excess are converted into absolute garbage Ultimus credits. Oh my God. I would be absolutely upset if this happened to me, if I opened up all those red stores and then just get there. Part of me, here's the thing. Here's the discussion, I guess. First of all, I think there's 2 ways of looking at this new system. Is like, do I want to upgrade Ultron to 3 reds and just kind of be ahead of the curve until, because when they come out with 4 reds, then the thing is, what if they use this system to give the extra red stars to Doom? And what if they implement that sooner than later? When do I open them? Because the thing is that really if you want to take advantage of this dark promotion system, you have to do it when there's no featured credit, no featured character, because the drop rate is 10 times higher right now when we do not have a featured character. I know for sure you want to save your elite credits. For sure you want to save your elite credits for, the featured characters, but the red stars, the basic red stars, almost seems like it's better to open them when there's no featured character if you want to take advantage. Now, right now, a 3 red star Ultron is not meaningful. A 7 red Ultimus is not meaningful. But when they do allow us to get a 4 or 5 or even Doom, what is it going to be? And then the question is, how are we supposed to know this? Is this, are we supposed to just you should have been able to figure this out on your own? Should this have been in a blog post? Should have this been more disclosure in the notes that there is a cap? Because there has not been caps on anything in the past. Not like this. This is the first time they've introduced caps. And I got to say, I'm always going to default on the player's side. And this goes all the way back to 2014, my very first YouTube video. I was tricked into buying something. This started my entire YouTube channel. And coming into YouTube was I basically got scammed by Kabam, Marvel Contest of Champions. They had an offer right here for Deadpool where it said get champion and you spend $20 for a 3-star Deadpool. And they showed right here that he had a power level of 1100. So this would be like them having an offer for Kestrel, and it said 100,000 power. And it says get Kestrel, 100,000 power, $20. And you click in it and you get a level 1 Kestrel, and you're like, well, I don't have a 100,000 Kestrel. I've got a 1 power Kestrel, and that's what this was right here. I spent $20 thinking I was going to get 1,100 power Deadpool, and no, I got a 1 power Deadpool. and I had to upgrade the depth pool. I thought I was going to be saving all the materials. And a lot of people agreed with me that this was a scam. And it actually went to the Better Business Bureau and everything because the developers weren't going to do anything about it. Eventually, they changed the policy and they got rid of this on the offer. But this is kind of where my entire channel started. And then yesterday in our chat, we had a big discussion about this Kestrel event orb. A lot of people bought this offer yesterday thinking that this was the good Kestrel orbs, but it is not. This is the event orb. And then the question is, why doesn't the developers just call this the Kestrel event orb? Why do they put them back to back? It's just nothing but frustrating. And I believe that the developers needed to have more disclosure of what the contents of the orbs are than right here. I mean, for you to find out what was in this orb, you had to exit out of the offer and go into the orb screen and look at the contents of the Voyager orb. And some people feel like, well, buyer beware, right? You need to do your own research. I understand. But if a percentage of the player base bought this thinking it was the good orb that averaged about 9 Kestrel orbs per shard versus this orb, which is the event orb, which has Kestrel on the sides, random character in the middle, averages probably closer to 5. So it's like almost half as effective as the other orb. They had offered the other orb at a similar pricing the day before. They switched it over. A lot of people feel deceived. Where do you draw the line, right? And then what about people that are, half asleep and they're going through the supply section and they accidentally click this right here? If I clicked this right here for 3,200, which is like $40, it would instantly disappear from my account. No confirmation. I would have bought the most garbage core offer for 3,200 crystals without, are you sure, or anything. If I accidentally clicked that right now, like, it's absolutely terrifying that I haven't, like, this is typically why I don't like having a lot of crystals in my account, because what if I accidentally clicked that? It's disappeared from my account. Who's responsible, the player or the game? What about accidentally T4ing characters? What if you just accidentally, you're here and you're on Ravager Stitcher or some horrible character and you accidentally hit the button? There's no confirmation. Where do you hold the player responsible? Where do you hold the game responsible to make the game actually painfully obvious on what's actually happening in the game? And I don't believe that this right here, in this situation right here, was painfully obvious that there was a 1,500 dark promotion credit max cap. I don't think it was painfully obvious. I don't feel that this offer was obvious what you're getting. I don't think it's obvious what you're buying if you accidentally click these things. I feel like the developers need to do better. At a minimum, they should be able to do the right thing. They could actually do the right thing and make the game more player friendly by changing these small things. Or are they going to leave it like this, which is borderline predatory, in my opinion? This is almost a predatory offer because a lot of people assumed that this was the better orb and it wasn't. And there's no disclosure. It's not obvious. It's not painfully obvious what it is. And for me, just because of, I do understand that people need to play smarter, and, like everybody in my chat yesterday, this wouldn't have happened. Like, I know this guy was in my chat and he said he tried to stop him in his stream from doing it, and but does everybody need to be on my stream at server launch every single day to not get screwed by Scopely? It kind of feels that way lately. For example, Multiple Men goes live, right? The picture of him inside the Red Star orbs, he's not in the orbs. How are you supposed to know? You have to check the contents of the orbs. Why is this a thing? Why do we have to be smarter than the developers to play the game? And what about the people that are just casual, that are getting screwed every day because they're not at the cutting edge of seconds of information every single day? I think the developers need to do better. I understand that there are very smart players out there that don't make these mistakes, but the developers need to do better and provide more disclosure. The second topic that came up with this, and some people enjoy hoarding and some people do not enjoy hoarding. I'm in the camp of people that does not enjoy hoarding. It looks like the game is moving in a direction where they are not going to incentivize hoarding. In the past, they have incentivized hoarding. And I'll give you two examples. There was an orb opening event where you got some great rewards if you hoarded a bunch of orbs, and the event goes live. And because you hoarded a bunch of stuff, you were able to finish the event very easily. Second situation is the transition between Dark Dimension 3 and Dark Dimension 4. If you completed Dark Dimension 3 and hoarded all the resources awarded in Dark Dimension 3, you had a much easier time in Dark Dimension 4. The players that finished Dark Dimension 4 first and very early, all the ones that I've had any kind of interaction with, have said that they had massively hoarded. I heard one story of where the guy basically, he got moved down to the flight deck in his alliance because he was saving all of his war credits and he wasn't able to upgrade his roster because he was just hoarding. And then when Dark Dimension 4 went live, he was like the first person because he had hoarded everything. And because the game changed the contents of the orbs to benefit hoarders, the hoarders succeed. Now, whether you like hoarding or not, that may be for another video. I'm not trying to convince hoarders that it's a bad thing. I don't like hoarding. I play Marvel Strike Force, not Marvel Hoarder Force. I shouldn't feel like fear of missing out because I'm upgrading a character. If I upgrade this character today, I'm going to be missing out something in the future because they changed the contents of the orbs, or they incentivize people that saved a mass amount of a certain particular type of currency. I think it's horrible. I've seen them do it in other games, and it looks like they're moving away from that, but not necessarily in a good way. I think this is a good example right here. In the data mine, they talked about getting rid of the ability orbs. The ability orbs have been trash. They're absolutely horrible. They needed to be deleted. A lot of people wanted them to rework them, and I was not a fan of them reworking orbs, even though I had hoarded a bunch. What they're doing is, it says, like I said, please, this is data mine, so the prudent thing to do on this information is to wait until there's actually an in-game notification. But this, because the data mine could change, right? It's not set in stone until it's live in the game. It says, instead of reworking the orb, they're going to introduce 3 new orbs that have 3 different contents, and then they state right here, please open your remaining ability orbs, as we will be permanently removing them from the store in favor of new orbs. We'll have an inbox message to the exact date in the near future. And they've also, in a blog post, mentioned that there eventually someday, and where is this? There's going to be new Milestone Orbs, but they're not going to be updating the contents of the Milestone Orbs. They're going to come out with a new Milestone Orb. Fine. Arena Orb. Boy, they reworked that in a way where if you hoarded, it didn't really benefit you that much because they made it super expensive to get Scream and Red Guardian. Dark promotion credits, they put a cap on it. I know other games have also, some games do it in a really kind of extreme way. When you're awarded an orb, like you get an orb in your account, like let's say you get a Red Star orb, the contents of the orb are randomized and already predetermined and pre-allocated at the time of awarding, and it's just whether you choose to open it or not matters. It doesn't, the RNG part of it doesn't happen at the time of opening. It has at the time that you earn the orb. Other games do that. This game doesn't. What do you think? Are you a fan of hoarding? Are you think that they're moving away from hoarding is a good thing? Also, do you think that this type of stuff right here lies on the player's responsibility, or do you think the developers need to do better and have some attention to detail and provide more disclosure on potentially predatory offers? What do you think? Are you excited about Adam Warlock and a potential Guardians of the Galaxy rework of some kind, or get some use out of Goro Nebula? Let me know what you think in the comment section. And as always, thanks for watching. Keep on gaming.